$5 movie.
Go ahead.
And we went at the wrong time. So my husband had a brain hemorrhage as a complication of his quadriplegia. And so he wasn't able to go back to teaching. So suddenly I became the breadwinner.
My dad was a very creative, sensitive, feeling person. One of the things that was always so hard with me about him is just the fact that I could not trust him because, and it wasn't because he was necessarily a liar, it was because once he was drunk, he didn't remember.
I remember being on the playground and literally having that teacher be on, I don't know if it's like seemed like a large space, I'm sure it was smaller. But I remember like them watching from a fence and a group of kids, like my classmates, playing and me being in a separate area and just having them like stare at you, like just watch you like you're a zoo animal. And you know that the other kids they're gonna go nowhere near you because the chance that they get harmed is much greater by connecting with me.
I feel like I've always been the one that had to be the adult.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what happens.
Right, exactly. In that very classic child of an alcoholic way, I was always the one who had to be the adult.
Yep,
I
to
was
him.
always the one. Yep, and to my mom to a certain extent.
But,
He adored you.
well, he did. He did. So, but yeah, that's true. Wow. I don't say that to anyone, but for you to figure it out, that's really good because that was true.
And can you say what triggering is to you? Like, what would happen?
I'd be in church, and they would walk in, that family,
Yeah.
and seeing that person would just transport me back to being young and going through that process of that person being like, do this, lay here, and I'm like, now I'm thinking about all this stuff that happened when I'm standing this close to you, and I can't greet you, I can't say hi, because I'm like, okay, this is uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable, wildly uncomfortable, and I just cue the panic attack.
And then there's enough family dynamics where I didn't go home and say, hey, mom and dad, there's this kid who's 4 years older, he's picking on me. And so that was a setup too. Like there was some, I think about that and think like, oh, well, some other kids would have right away just went home and then you'd have a parent that would perhaps deal with the situation, and then also deal with the comforting of like, okay, that was a horrible event and attend to it.
Back. My car is running in park, and for some reason it slipped into reverse. And then I remember the wheel going over my chest. It sort of threw me onto my back, and then the car came, I can still see the undercarriage of the car as the wheel is going over my chest, but it must have caught my coat because the next thing I knew, I'm face down under the driver's seat, and my coat is sort of caught on something under.
I think one of the largest thing that sticks with me from my childhood is really comments and just absolutely being beaten down about my body.
I think I would describe trauma as an experience or a set of experiences that a person is confronted with that exceeds their current framework for handling said situations.
How do you define trauma?
I think trauma is any event or series of events that create like a roadblock in your life, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally.
It was inescapable, and it's hard to feel really helpless about something that feels really static or unchangeable or unfixable. And those things have definitely, like I said, like those are the voices that stay with me. Like anytime I walk past a group of like white boy teenagers, I am like tense waiting for something. And it definitely has happened as an adult. And that has deeply affected who I am and how I am in the world.
And it oftentimes causes them to shut down and maybe reduce their sense of self in order to respond to that.
Whatever it is, it creates enough of an impact in your life where you feel like you can't move past it.
Yeah, and it just kind of started creating this idea in my mind that that the whole world is out to get me.
There's models that talk about sort of the unbearable state of aloneness as the primary sort of wounding that comes with trauma. And it's sort of this overwhelm, I can't handle it, I can't make sense of this, I can't deal with this, and I'm alone and I have nobody who's going to help me. That sort of makes the traumatic experience worse.
The analogy of like when a computer system, I think like an actual computer or like your car, like let's say some trauma, something happens, and I think like sometimes like that you don't always put the system back together the same way that you rewire it. That I don't think that you get to go back and be unimpacted or unaffected by some traumatic event in your past. That somehow you have to figure out some sort of rewiring.
Yeah, so when it comes from someone that close, you're like, well, this is bad touch, but this is not a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, you start to internalize, like, why is this happening to me? Like, what does that mean? Why did it happen to me twice? It's already hard that it happened to me once, but what is it about me that is attracting this negative interaction with these people in my life? After a second time, I was just like, okay, what am I doing that, like, I felt like it was my fault.
Yes.
At first you cry several times a day, and then you cry several times a week, and then you cry several times a month, and then even now, I didn't expect this.
You could cry.
I could cry.
Well, tell me. Get it in.
No, I'm okay. I mean,
What? But the tears.
the tears is that I loved him and he's gone.
Yeah.
So that's the story. I mean, that's as bare as I can make it.
You know, it's very amazing, the human's ability to shift and to change and to be resilient through it all.
Tough things happen to tough people. Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
The thing is sort of no matter what went wrong, you just keep on going.
Our goal is for us to be able to heal so the past feels like it can be left in the past. And it doesn't feel like it's being carried on an ongoing, everyday basis.
I use the metaphor of vomiting. We gotta
We gotta
vomit
get it
this
out. Yeah, we
And
gotta get that
it's
out.
Vomiting is violent,
Mhm.
but this is because it.
Anything that is coming up when you're vomiting is because it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
your system is rejecting it.
yeah, it's like it's not compatible.
Yep.
And for most people, trauma that go through, it's not compatible.
Right.
Because it happened to you doesn't mean that it was supposed to. I mean, not that it was supposed to happen to you. It's like, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about that person making a terrible decision that you suffered from.
Yeah, I mean, it was powerful to find community. And it was also, I think, it was also important to find myself.
I mean, there's a blessing to have, I mean, if you can welcome part of it, there's some blessing to having experienced something that's incredibly painful and be able to come out on the other side and have a perspective of how to have experienced it to know what it's like, and take the high road after that.
And I see people out on the street, okay, I walk with a cane when I'm going any distance, and I see women who can barely walk with their walker walking their dog in the wintertime, and I think, Bonnie, you are such a wuss.
Memory retrieval is essentially memory modification. So anytime we allow ourselves to bring memories forward, we actually create opportunities to modify our relationship to them.
It's more power to you than it is, like, people think it's when you forgive someone for hurting you, it's like, why would you forgive them? They did this terrible thing to you and you should be mad. Yeah, you should be mad. Feel mad. Get over that. Like,
So I just decided to be who I was, and it definitely came from the inside. I mean, it was erasing, the pressures from the outside. And so, anyway, so I would say that's the start of my happiness.
it would literally tear me apart to always, like, to just stay in those emotions. And so for me, it's about feeling them. And what I learned from Full Heart is acknowledging that this emotion that I'm feeling now is a teacher for something. All emotions are valuable. Yeah.
Oh my God. You see, I just beamed.
Yes, because that is my all-time favorite thing that I took away from that
Because you were in the live performance piece.
Yes.
Based on my first book.
Different times where I've just cried and cried, like, why am I here? Like, what am I here for? I can't do this. Like, this is kicking my ass. But it's like, you're kicking life's ass. It seems like the opposite way, but you are still here. Another day. You still got past it.